In a seismic shift that has ignited the global crypto community, the financial world is now witnessing one of the most significant adoption milestones in XRP's history, as new infrastructure has officially enabled XRP to be purchased directly through Apple Pay and Google Pay across more than 40 countries, marking a turning point in how everyday consumers interact with digital assets and signaling a new era where frictionless, real-time crypto acquisition becomes as simple as buying a coffee, downloading an app, or tapping a screen. And the implications are nothing short of earth-shaking, because what we're seeing here is not just another exchange listing, not just another partner integration, but the merging of the world's most widely used payment gateways, Apple Pay with its hundreds of millions of active users and Google Pay with its massive global reach, directly with one of the most battle-tested, industrial-grade, institutionally respected digital assets ever created. The XRP Ledger's native token, XRP, which has been engineered from day one for high throughput, negligible fees, instant settlement, and enterprise-level scalability. And when you combine those technical strengths with mainstream availability through the two biggest mobile payment systems on Earth, you get a recipe for unprecedented adoption, liquidity expansion, and on-chain volume growth that could reshape XRP's role in the emerging digital payments ecosystem. And analysts are already calling this the gateway moment, the inflection point where onboarding into the XRPL becomes so effortless, so intuitive, so deeply embedded into daily financial behavior that consumer adoption finally aligns with the institutional adoption we've been witnessing for years. Banks, remittance companies, fintech platforms, central banks, payment corridors, liquidity hubs, CBDC bridges, tokenization pilots. But now the everyday user can acquire XRP in 3 seconds by tapping their phone, which means the psychological barrier to entry evaporates almost instantly, making XRP one of the only major digital assets that can truly scale from institutional rails to retail wallets with zero friction. And this matters on a scale the average investor doesn't yet grasp, because Apple Pay isn't just an app. It's a financial ecosystem with over 500 million active users. Google Pay stretches across Asia, Europe, the Americas, and emerging markets where mobile-first banking dominates everything. And those markets collectively move trillions of dollars annually. And now a portion of that flow has the ability to route directly into XRP, the same XRP that banks have tested for cross-border settlements, the same XRP being used in real-world payment trials, the same XRP that sits at the core of Ripple's institutional on-demand liquidity corridors. The same XRP ledger that handles thousands of transactions per second with deterministic finality and no mining bottlenecks, all while remaining carbon neutral and enterprise grade. And this is where the story gets even bigger, because with crypto regulations tightening globally, payment gateways have become extremely cautious about which digital assets they integrate, meaning that XRP's inclusion is a powerful signal that compliance checks, regulatory reviews, and risk assessments have been thoroughly navigated, reinforcing the narrative that XRP stands on the brink of becoming one of the first globally standardized digital payment assets. Especially as adoption aligns with government pilots, financial messaging conversions like ISO 20022 migration, and the rise of new digital payment standards being pushed by major economies, and when you factor in the 40-country rollout, which includes regions with high remittance volume, unbanked populations, and fast-growing digital economies, what you get is not simply convenience but real utility. The ability for a worker to buy XRP instantly on their phone and send it across borders in seconds, the ability for merchants to experiment with XRPL-based settlement, the ability for fintech apps to integrate XRP through the same rails they already use for Apple Pay and Google Pay, and the ability for the next generation of investors to acquire a high-speed digital asset without exchanges, without complicated onboarding, without barriers or confusion. And this is precisely why analysts describe this moment as a liquidity ignition event, a catalyst that could ripple across exchanges, futures markets, and institutional on-ramps, creating a new foundation for price action driven not by hype but by infrastructure and adoption. And as the world slowly moves toward a digital-first payment landscape, XRP now sits at the intersection of big tech, global finance, and mobile payments, positioned for a level of mainstream exposure that could accelerate its path toward becoming one of the most widely used digital settlement assets on the planet. And as this news spreads across the crypto world, one thing becomes crystal clear. This is more than a headline, more than an integration, more than hype. This is a milestone that reshapes the future of XRP forever.